Namaste, angels. Welcome to the weekly general reading for the period of October 28th through November 3rd. It is the 26th of October right now, which equals an 11. I just looked down at the clock. Well, I looked down at the calendar, so that tells me what time on my laptop. So that showed me what time it was too. It's 10:44, which is like a 144, so I like that. As in like the 144,000 illumined. The 26th, like I said, today was an 11. And at 7:40, which also equals 11, the moon, which was still in the full moon zone, left Taurus and entered Gemini, which is represented by Roman numeral II, or another 11. So I feel good about doing the reading today. Did I ask you to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already? If I didn't, please do. I'm going to be introducing this week on Facebook a step down sort of eating plan, diet, however you want to look at it, way of, like self-reporting and monitoring one another, a group in preparation for the holidays. Each week we will step down to less, so that like week before the holiday we will be capable of just having a liquid diet, so that when the holiday is upon us that day, we won't necessarily want to overeat, but we will be able to enjoy ourselves and eat what we do wish without feeling badly about it. And then do the same thing again for the next 3 weeks in preparation for the Christmas holiday. And then and New Year's. And then when it's January 1st, that time that everybody looks up and says, ooh, now I got to go on a diet because I'm heavy, we'll already be ahead of the game. So I'll be posting that information about that on my Facebook this week, and look for it. All right, so let's get into what else is going on this week, having nothing to do with me and what I'm doing here, beginning with the Christian calendar. So on Sunday, the 28th, the first day for which this reading is, will be the feast days of Saints Simon and Jude, both apostles. So we'll read a little bit about them from www.franciscanmedia.org/saints-simon-and-Jude for anybody that wants to read along, follow along. Saint Simon and Jude story. Jude is so named by Luke and Acts. Matthew and Mark call him Thaddeus. He's not mentioned elsewhere in the Gospels, except, of course, where all the apostles are mentioned. Scholars hold that he's not the author of the letter of Jude. Actually, Jude had the same name as Judas Iscariot. Evidently, because of the disgrace of that name, it was shortened to Jude in English, because the Judas is the Judas that betrayed Jesus, of course. Simon is mentioned on all 4 lists of the apostles. On 2 of them, he's called, quote unquote, the Zealot. The Zealots were a Jewish sect that represented an extreme of Jewish nationalism. For them, the messianic promise of the Old Testament meant that the Jews were to be free and independent nation. God alone was their king, and any payment of taxes to the Romans, the very domination of the Romans, was blasphemy against God. No doubt, some of the Zealots were the spiritual heirs of the Maccabees, carrying on their ideals of the religion and independence. But many were the counterparts of modern terrorists. They raided and killed, attacking both foreigners and, quote unquote, collaborating Jews. They were chiefly responsible for the rebellion against Rome, which ended in the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD. As in the case of all the apostles, except for Peter, James, and John, we are faced with men who are really unknown, and we're struck by the fact that their holiness is simply taken to be a gift of Christ. He chose some unlikely people, a former zealot, a former crooked tax collector, an impetuous fisherman, 2 quote-unquote sons of thunder, and a man named Judas Iscariot. It is a reminder that we cannot receive too often. Holiness does not depend on human merit, culture, personality, effort, or achievement. It is entirely God's creation and gift. God needs no zealots to bring about the kingdom by force. Jude, like all the saints, is the saint of the impossible. Only God can create his divine life in human beings, and God wills to do so for all of us. Saint Jude is the patron saint of desperate situations. Doesn't say what Saint Simon is the patron saint. But I'm going to move on all the way to the last day of the month, October 31st, which some of us will call Halloween and consider it a quote-unquote pagan festival. Whatever it is also, or how it got its name, is that it is All Hallows Eve. The Feast of All Hallows, which occurs on November 1st, is the same as the Feast of All Saints' Day. So Halloween is just basically another way of saying the day before All Saints' Day, or the eve before, the night before. To talk briefly about Halloween, I'm going to go to www.wikipedia.org. Halloween, or Halloween, a contraction of Hallows Evening, also known as All Halloween and All Hallows Eve, as well as All Saints Eve, is a celebration observed in a number of countries on the 31st of October, the eve of the Western Christian feast of All Hallows Day. So it's not just a pagan feast, and it's not just a Christian feast. It begins the 3-day observance of All Hallow Tide, the time in the liturgical year dedicated to remembering the dead, including saints or hallows, martyrs, and the faithful departed. It is widely believed that many Halloween traditions originated from ancient Celtic harvest festivals, particularly the Gaelic festival Samhain, that such festivals may have had pagan roots, and that Samhain itself was Christianized as Halloween by the early church. Some believe, however, that Halloween began solely as a Christian holiday, separate from ancient festivals like Samhain. Halloween activities include trick-or-treating, or the related guising, attending Halloween costume parties, carving pumpkins into jack-o'-lanterns, lighting bonfires, apple bobbing, divination games, playing pranks, visiting haunted attractions, telling scary stories, and watching horror films. In many parts of the world, the Christian religious observances of All Hallows Eve, including attending church services and lighting candles on the graves of the dead, remain popular, although elsewhere it's more commercial and a secular celebration. Some Christians historically abstained from meat on All Hallows Eve, a tradition reflected in the eating of certain vegetarian foods on this vigil day, including the apples that they bob for, also potato pancakes and soul cakes, S-O-U-L. And soul cakes are small round cakes traditionally made for All Hallows Eve, All Saints Day, and All Souls Day to commemorate the dead in Christian tradition. The cakes, often simply referred to as souls, are given out to soulers, mainly consisting of children and the poor, who go from door to door during the days of All Hallowtide, singing and saying prayers for the souls of the givers and their friends. The practice in England dates to the medieval period and was continued there until the 1930s by both Protestant and Catholic Christians. The practice of giving and eating soul cakes continues in some countries today, such as Portugal, where it's known as pão por Deus, and in other countries, it is seen as the origin of the practice of trick-or-treating. In Lancashire and northeast of England, they are also known as har cakes. In the United States, some churches during All Hallowtide have invited people to come to receive sweets from them and have offered to, quote-unquote, pray for the souls of their friends, relatives, and even pets as they do so. Among Catholics, traditionally the soul cakes are blessed by a priest before being distributed on the eve of All Saints or All Hallows Eve, or Halloween. In exchange, the children promise to pray for the souls of the deceased relatives and of the giver during the month of November, which is the month dedicated especially to praying for holy souls in purgatory. Any leftover soul cakes are shared among the distributing family. The next day, November 1st, is All Saints' Day. For that, I'll go to www.catholic.org. All Saints' Day is a solemn holy day of the Catholic Church, celebrated annually on November 1st. The day is dedicated to the saints of the Church, that is, all those who have attended in heaven. It should not be confused with All Souls' Day, which is observed on November 2nd and is dedicated to those who've died and not yet reached heaven. Although millions or even billions of people may already be saints, All Saints' Day observances tend to focus on known saints, that is, those recognized in the canon of the saints by the Catholic Church. All Saints' Day is also commemorated by members of the Eastern Orthodox Church, as well as some Protestant churches, such as Lutheran and Anglican churches. Generally, All Saints' Day is a Catholic holy day of obligation, meaning it's like Sunday. They require you to go to church if you're a practicing Catholic. They go on to explain it themselves, meaning all Catholics are required to attend Mass on that day unless they have an excellent excuse, such as serious illness. Other countries have different rules according to their national bishops' conferences. The bishops of each conference have the authority to amend the rules surrounding the obligation of the day. All Saints' Day was formally started by Pope Boniface IV, who consecrated the Pantheon at Rome to the Virgin Mary and all the martyrs on May 13th, which is the first date of Our Lady of Fatima, the first time that she appeared to the three children. But this is May 13th in the year 609 AD. Boniface IV also established All Souls' Day, which follows All Saints' Day. The choice of the day may have been intended to co-opt the pagan holiday, quote unquote, the Feast of the Lemures, a day which pagans used to placate the restless spirits of the dead. The holy day was eventually established on November the 1st by Pope Gregory III in the mid-8th century as a day dedicated to the saints and their relics. The May 13th celebration was subsequently abandoned. In Ireland, the church celebrated All Saints' Day on April 20th to avoid associating the day with the traditional harvest festivals and pagan feasts associated with Samhain, celebrated at the same time. Following the establishment of the Frankish Empire and following the reign of Charlemagne, the holy day was already celebrated on November 1st. It became a holy day of obligation by decree of Pope Gregory IV and Louis the Pious, who was king over a portion of Charlemagne's former empire. Following the Protestant Reformation, many Protestants retained the holy day, although they dismissed the need to pray for the dead. Instead, the day has been used to commemorate those who have recently died, usually in the past year, and to remember the examples of those who lived holy lives. The Catholic practice, however, celebrates all those who have entered heaven, including saints who are recognized by the church and those who are not. That means like your family members and stuff, or those mentioned in the scriptures themselves that say Jesus was raised from the dead, as were, quote unquote, other saints. Holy day customs vary around the world. In the United States, the day before is Halloween, and is usually celebrated by dressing in costumes with themes of death commonly associated. Children go door to door in costume, trick-or-treating, that is, soliciting candy from their neighbors. The holiday has lost much of its connection to its religious origins. Although nearly everyone celebrates Halloween for fun and the fun of the secular holiday, the following religious solemnity is not widely practiced or acknowledged by most Americans unless they are Catholic. In other countries, such as Portugal, Spain, and Mexico, traditional practices include performance of the play, quote, Don Juan Tenorio, and offerings made to the dead. All Saints' Day occurs on the same day as the Mexican feast Dia de los Inocentes, a day dedicated to deceased children. Across much of Europe, the day is commemorated with offerings of flowers left on the graves of the dead. In Eastern Europe, candles are lit on graves instead of offerings of flowers. In some places, such as the Philippines, graves can be painted and repaired by family members. Many of these practices blur the distinction between All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day. These celebrations often blur the distinction between All Saints' Day, which is properly dedicated to those who are in heaven, and All Souls' Day, on which prayers are offered for all those who have died but have not yet reached heaven. In Mexico, the Day of the Dead holy days extend from October 31st through November 2nd. It is important to remember these basic facts. Halloween is a secular holiday that comes the night before All Saints' Day. All Saints' Day is November 1st, and it is a holy day of obligation. All Souls' Day is November 2nd. It is not a holy day of obligation. The Day of the Dead is a Mexican holiday that has spread in popularity into parts of the United States and across Latin America. It's celebrated from October 31st through November 2nd to coincide with both the American tradition and the Catholic holy days. Those 3 days are dedicated to all of the dead. All of the dead. And then it goes on more about All Saints' Day and the Byzantine era and all that kind of stuff, customs and notes and things. For anybody who would like to look at it again, I got it from www.catholic.org/saints/all saints. I'm also going to them for All Souls' Day, which is a holy day set aside for honoring the dead. The day is primarily celebrated in the Catholic Church, but it's also celebrated in the Eastern Orthodox Church and a few other denominations of Christianity. The Anglican Church is the largest Protestant church to celebrate the holy day. Most Protestant denominations do not recognize the holiday and disagree with the theology behind it. According to Catholic belief, the soul of a person who dies can go to one of 3 places. The first is heaven, where a person who dies in a state of perfect grace and communion goes with God. The second is hell, where those who die in a state of mortal sin are naturally condemned by their choice. And the intermediate option is purgatory, which is thought to be where most people go, free of mortal sin, but still in a state of lesser venial sin. Purgatory is necessary so that souls can be cleansed and perfected before they enter heaven. There is scriptural basis for this belief. The primary reference is in Maccabees 2:1226, as well as 1232, quote, turning to supplication, they prayed that the sinful deed might be fully blotted out, thus made atonement for the dead, that they might be free from sin, end quote. Additional references are found in Zechariah, Sirach, and the Gospel of Matthew. Jewish tradition also reinforces this belief, as well as the tradition and teaching of the church, which has been affirmed throughout history. Consistent with these teachings and traditions, Catholics believe that through the prayers of the faithful on earth, the dead are cleansed of their sins and they may enter into heaven. The belief in purgatory has not been without controversy. Certainly, some flagrant abuses of the doctrine were used to raise money for the church during the Renaissance. Famously, Martin Luther argued with the monk Johann Tetzel over the sale of indulgences. Indulgences were sold as spiritual pardons to the poor and applied to the souls of the dead or the living to get people into heaven. How disgusting is this? The abuse of the indulgences and the blatant, sometimes fraudulent practice of selling indulgences for money led to Luther's protest. When Martin Luther translated the Bible into German, he omitted the 7 books of the canon, which referred to the prayers for the dead. He then introduced the heretical belief that people are simply saved or not, and argued that there is no need to pray for the dead to get them into heaven. The church reeled from Luther's accusation and reformed its practice of selling indulgences. However, it re-emphasized the biblical and traditional practice of praying for the departed and the importance of such prayers. All Souls Day is celebrated in much of the Western world on November 2nd. Other rites have their own celebrations. The Eastern Orthodox Church has several such days throughout the year, mostly on Saturdays. All Souls Day is not a holy day of obligation. It should not be confused with All Saints Day, which is a holy day of obligation. Many cultures also mark the day differently. In North America, Americans may say extra prayers or light candles for the departed. In parts of Latin America, families visit the graves of their ancestors and sometimes leave food offerings for the departed. And they go on to talk about more about All Souls Day rather, for those who'd like to read that. And this is found on www.catholic.org/saints/all-souls. But I'm going to move on to the celestial system. Yep. Because there's nothing on the Jewish calendar and nothing for us on the Islamic calendar. Yes, I'm going to the celestial system, and there's only one thing there this week, and that is on November 1st at 1:36 p.m. Jupiter trine Chiron. So for that, to explain what that is, I'm going to www.cafeastrology.com/JupiterTransits.html. Jupiter transits trine Chiron. A positive and expansive outlook can benefit your well-being at this time. You may be more open-minded with regard to experiencing new things, which will allow healing of your mind, body, and spirit. For instance, you could seek higher understanding and meaning in your life through a guide, mentor, or spiritual person, or increase your inner knowledge by means of educational processes, religion, or meditative practices during this period. An urge to travel to faraway places, real or imaginary, may also be experienced. You may discover new perspectives on your beliefs, faith, and a sense of hope. Restoring peace and harmony in your personal life and relationships is possible now through your interest in healing your own wounds, as well as extending compassion and generosity to others. Wait a minute. On Halloween, doesn't Venus enter Libra? And it's 11:11 now, too. Wait a minute. Yes, Venus retrograde enters Libra on October 31st at 3:42 p.m. So I better pull up something real quick about that. Found one. It is www.elitedaily.com. Venus-retrograde-re-in-Libra-on-Halloween-where-a-few-tricks. Yes, that is the title. Venus retrograde re-enters Libra on Halloween, and we're in for a few tricks. With All Hallows Eve not too far away, it's important that we mentally prepare ourselves for what's to come, especially when we have the privilege of looking to the stars for guidance, right? Speaking of which, Venus re-enters retrograde on Libra, re-enters Libra on Halloween until November 16th, which is the day that she goes direct, I believe. Yes, because I made a note of it that it was the day before my mother's birthday. Anyway, November 16th is the last day, and that will be putting a justice-seeking magnifying glass over our relationship dynamics. Granted, Venus rules Libra, so this transit won't feel as harsh as Venus in Scorpio. However, as a matter of fact, it shouldn't feel very harsh at all. I mean, it's going backwards, so that's the difficulty. But Venus in Libra is Venus's most loving placement, so I would say it shouldn't be that horrible. But I'm going to keep reading. However, this still doesn't take away the fact that Venus recently left the depths of the underworld. Okay, so that's what they're saying. Since it had been in Scorpio, it's still going to be holding on to some of that energy. It will still be on its backward journey as well through Libra. Yes, until mid-November. Everything is connected. I agree. Which reminds me, what has your Venus retrograde trip been like? There's no denying that this retrograde cycle will be one for the books, and it has sparked a number of emotionally driven power thrills within our current relationships. In the end, Venus retrograde in Scorpio is a time to reevaluate our core values, intimate partnerships, and self-worth. So once Venus re-enters its home in the sign of Libra, we'll know whether to make it or break it. In fact, Scorpio's intuition is razor sharp, so many of you might already be feeling the pressure. Then again, think of your relationship as a diamond, polished and shiny, but with enough time and pressure, it will be nothing short of spectacular. Want to know how this Venus retrograde might be affecting you? Check and see where Libra and Scorpio are located in your birth chart. Also, take a look at your Venus placement. And if you're familiar with astrology, check and see if it's making any interesting aspects. For example, if you have Libra in your third house of communication, I don't, I have Leo, I think, and Scorpio in your fourth house of home, I think I have Virgo there, then this retrograde cycle may have stirred up some repressed family relationship issues that you've kept locked away for some time. In fact, once Venus enters Libra and your third house of chit chat, you might finally open up about a secret you've kept locked away. By all means, this is one of many examples, as astrology is infinite. The month ends on a rather spooky yet flamboyant note, as the moon slides into childlike Leo, sparking lighthearted feels and fun-filled activities. Although that's not all, stargazers. We already know that Venus cruises back into lovable Libra, but Mercury, the messenger, also leaves mysterious Scorpio and enters spontaneous Sagittarius that same day. Finally, yes, it's time to crack jokes and bask in all mighty Jupiterian language. By the way, no offense to Scorpios, but this energy has not been easy. Granted, Halloween festivities usually take place during Scorpio season, obviously, but at least we'll have some fire energy on our side. And I told you I was feeling something. If you haven't seen my moon reading, check it out. I talked about how I was feeling all kinds of stuff about the Archer, because it was the Hunter moon and Sagittarius. And now I wasn't even thinking at that time that Mercury would be entering Sagittarius soon. But here we go with that too. All right, for instance, water energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, is deep, emotional, and psychic, which is why it can seem a bit heavy at times. Fire energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, is enthusiastic, lively, and fast-moving, which is so much more appropriate for Halloween, don't you think? The elements play a big part in our daily lives, and all four set a totally different mood. Can you see the difference? As if we needed more reason to celebrate All Hallows Eve, I actually have good news for those of you looking for love. Gorgeous Venus will oppose electric Uranus, bringing unexpected opportunities for love. I know, who would have thunk it? And on Halloween, right? Remember, Venus rules our relationships and values, and Uranus is spontaneous and sudden, meaning this transit could definitely spark some surprise romance, or perhaps some surprise cash. Who knows? When Uranus is involved, anything is possible. And that was that. So we have a bunch of stuff to look forward to. I can't believe I almost forgot that Venus was entering Libra. All right, so for the dice, I'm beginning with Eat Cake. It's 50-50. And Romantic Dinner. Spirit says no. So anyone pondering a yes or no question right now? No. Also, Cocktail. And dirty movie. So maybe some online dating. You're talking to one another, Skype, you know, all those different things. All those different mechanisms for talking to each other and seeing each other online. All right, going to the cards. I'm beginning with the Six of Earth. Gifts of money, time, or effort, new career opportunities, and receiving a loan or paying off debts. In this deck in particular, this card is it's like super Venus for me. And I think you can see why, right? Here's the scales of justice or balance. They represent Libra. All of this Earth is her Taurus. And then she's got some like scary, it's like all over scattered air, like all over the place. That's Gemini. Opening to the Page of Earth, scholarly, dependable, patient, and successful. Good news about financial matters, wanting to do something more challenging, and a new area of study. Page of Earth for me represents the sign of Virgo, but can also be Taurus, where the moon just left today, or Capricorn even, and maybe a younger one if so. Or just somebody likened to those traits or attributes, you know, like practicality, being super grounded. Opening to the Seven of Air, plans that need revision, more going on than meets the eye, and poor timing. This could be somebody trying to rob you of something earthly, like actual, you could like lose items, or there could be theft, or at least attempted theft of items this week. Page of Earth. In the Knight of Fire, passionate, adventurous, self-assured, and restless, a sudden event that needs immediate attention. Time is of the essence. Think things through carefully. Knight of Fire could be that Jupiter or Sagittarius, which it rules, Aries or Leo, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, the fiery elements. Opening to the Eight of Earth also. Skilled work is rewarded. Learning all there is to know about a topic, and maybe even going back to school. Opposite the Page of Earth, it could have to do with going to school or learning some new vocation or job or getting a new job. Coming into money, it could have to do with the school of experience and life and being out there in the world, in the earth, learning. Sometimes some people would say the hard way. Some would say the best way, right? Experience is the best teacher. All those things apply. I'll do one more. I was feeling to do one more. I'm glad. It's the Two of Water, a relationship that continues to grow closer, forgiveness, and the positive resolution of a conflict. That relationship could very well be between two earth signs or an earth sign and a fire sign, because those are the court cards we've seen thus far. Page of Earth. Eight of Water, it's a card of movement, as is the Six of Air. Things are looking up. It's the end of a difficult situation. You may have been taking a trip. This can be a card about vacations, travel, metaphoric movement, figurative movement, like moving on, moving forward. It's never a negative card, if you ask me. Always positive. It's better time to head. It's calmer, stiller waters, as they say. Overall introduces the Seven of Water, a complex decision, the need to do research, stop procrastinating. This can be about so many things. Children, for me sometimes. Options, certainly. If we do have to make a decision, various choices that, you know, we could, possibly settle on. It's sort of like up to us. I get one night stands sometimes with the Seven of Water, where that sort, I guess, romance is concerned. Also, dreams, goals. Although it's not a core card, it's very much representative of Neptune for me and Pisces, which Neptune rules. Crowning the masculine. It is the Queen of Fire, confident, warm, intelligent, and graceful. Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Assert your independence and creativity. The Queen of Fire is probably a Leo, because the queens in the tarot tend to represent the fixed sign of a given element, and that would be Leo in the case of fire. But it could be an Aries, a Sagittarius, again speaking of them. Could be representative of Jupiter himself, or perhaps even Mars, the red planet, ruler of Aries and Scorpio. And the Queen of Fire in the tarot is the quintessential divine feminine as well. However, this can be the masculine's energy. He could be feeling particularly passionate, confident, powerful. He's surrounded by Major Arcana card, Justice, with Archangel Raguel. Fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. Stand up for your beliefs. This is more Libra. Also, the number 8. This is Major Arcana card 8. 8 is very much connected to karma, as far as I'm concerned, at least. Masculine subconscious. It is the Knight of Water, emotional, romantic, enthusiastic, and contemplative. Falling in love or wedding proposals. The need to balance emotions and an invitation to a social event. So this is perhaps a direct water sign, a Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer, thinking, deciding maybe whether or not to make some sort of move. That's possible. Maybe pondering a decision, maybe awaiting a decision, and maybe a legal one. When I picked up the 7 of water and the decision that has to be made, right underneath it is the 10 of air, the end of a difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to get better now. Somebody may even be recovering from an addiction. This aligns very much so with the 6 of air, on which we ended a moment ago when I was shuffling. Right? Both indicate that we're moving into better times. When I picked up the 10 of air, what led to it naturally, prior was the 9 of air. This is also up right behind it. Expecting the worst, self-fulfilling prophecies, and sleepless nights. So it could be some decision, again, awaiting or needing to be made that, is causing the sleepless nights or did cause sleepless nights. Maybe that means the masculine was up thinking about it, like, what do I do? And he needed to sleep on the decision. He may have just needed to get some rest, or he may have been up on it because of, not because he was making the decision, but because, he was going to be subject to the decision. And so maybe he was nervous and concerned about what decision might be handed down, whether it's legal or not. Other than that, the Knight of Water is somebody who makes proposals, right? He's the guy that asks you out on a date, or, to enter some sort of commitment with him, maybe even marriage. These two together, that could be the case too. This could be the divine feminine. This could be him as, considering marriage, for example. Crowning the divine feminine is the Knight of Fire, passionate, adventurous, self-assured, and restless. A sudden event that needs immediate attention. Time is of the essence. Think things through carefully. Well, these two crowning could be indicative, like mirroring one another too, could be indicative of a couple, maybe where the masculine is slightly younger than the feminine, or vice versa. Vice versa. It's possible too. Like the queen, the knight, of course, is a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Possibly even, again, Jupiter or Mars themselves. Feminine, surrounded by the 3 of earth, the power of creativity, recognition for very high quality work. Be a team player. The 3 of earth is about abundance that is on its way. But the reason it's on its way is because we earned it. It's not abundance that we're just being gifted accidentally, we're stumbling upon, somebody's doing us a favor, they're loaning us something. We earned this. This is bonus, promotion, raise, opportunity. This is some sort of reward, some sort of accolade, some sort of recognition for what you've done. It's also a 3, so it can have something to do with some sort of party of 3, and perhaps a relationship that was developed at work, whether it's friends or romantic. Feminine subconscious. Major Arcana card 17 equals 8, just like the masculine's Major Arcana card. But this is the star, which represents the planet Uranus. All the planets and things that we just heard about are what's turning up here. Happy times. Make positive, optimistic, long-term plans. You are on the right path. Right? We just heard that the moon was going to enter Leo, that Venus, which rules Libra, was going to enter it, was going to leave Scorpio and enter Libra. We heard that Mercury was entering Sagittarius. Jupiter was going to be trine Chiron this week also. So they're all here. Oh, and Uranus. Uranus was doing something too. What was Uranus doing? Oh, Venus is going to oppose Uranus also this week. So it's a busy one. But other than that, this star could be connected to your, the die that came up with Dirty Movie, for example. It's technology, and it's communication as an air sign. So it can be, that Skyping and FaceTime and all that sort of thing. Even email, texting, any sort of cell phone use, any kind of technology, computer communication, online dating, again, all connected possibly to Uranus and the star. And maybe that's where some some one-night stands come in, possibly, with something like this. Maybe somebody at your job. That could go down. Other than that, the star is our dreams. So it can all, again, be associated with the Seven of Water. Our dreams, wishes, prayers coming true, things that we've asked for, that we've, envisioned in our minds coming to fruition. Major Arcana card, the star again represents the planet Uranus and the sign of Aquarius, which it rules. It's also a healing energy. Very healing. Crowning. Ooh, the sun. And it's right here between the Queen and the Knight of Fire. How awesome is that? This whole tarot is like beautiful fire. Major Arcana card number 19, the sun with Archangel Uriel. Happy outcome. Brilliant new ideas that lead to success if you have confidence in yourself. So again, we brought up Leo. Leo is ruled by the actual sun, Earth's star, the sun. Rules the sign of Leo. But in the tarot, the sun represents the sign of Sagittarius. So pretty cool. When it shows up, things are illuminated. Crossing justice, it's like something coming to light that is positive. So it could be the truth let's say, for example, in a legal case, it could be the truth that comes to light that sets somebody free. And that could be why this good positive energy of emotion represented by the Knight of Water is showing up too. Right? This could be feel good stuff. And this could be confidence. Yeah, I know I'm going to, everything's going to be fine because I'm on the side of right and light and illumination. Stuff coming out. Where there is anything medical, especially involving rays, an X-ray, CAT scan, sonograms and stuff. Also those coming out well. There may need to be like decision as to like what kind of treatment to pick and use. That just came to me. And maybe whether or not there should be surgery, like the 10 of Swords, 9 of Swords. That could be what we're worried about too. Somebody in the hospital, maybe a fire sign specifically. And then there's a need to make a decision. But like, you're going to be provided with all the information that you need to make that decision like wisely. It won't be a rush to justice or rush to judgment, as they say. It won't be. You'll have the information. At the root, the 9 of Earth, enjoying life's little luxuries, spending quiet time alone, successful self-employment. The 9 of Earth is a very positive energy. it is about spending time with us, you know, so we can get to know us and like us and love us. You know, whatever your favorite thing is or your thing is, period, it's a good time to do that. You know, I feel 9 of Earthish when I go get my nails done, I'm getting my massage, or I go to my acupuncturist, or, you know, maybe if I go get my hair done, which is far more infrequently than any of the other stuff. But sometimes, you know, every now and then I'll go get my hair done instead of not or barely combing it. I'll go get it, you know, like deep conditioned and stuff, and you know, all those things that make you feel sort of pampered and good. Or, you know, going to sit outside to read or just stare at the water is one of my most favorite things to do. I tend to walk to the South Street Seaport here in New York City, and sitting at the dock of the bay, watching the tide roll away is one of my favorite things to do. I do it often. I'll pick up lunch sometimes on my way over there, 100% by myself, nobody else with me. Pick up lunch, go sit down in, you know, one of these chairs where I can put my feet up and my head back and enjoy. Spend some time with Mother and with me. Spend time with me. So whatever you enjoy doing, I recommend. At the heart of the matter, very nice. The Queen of Water. Now, what I just say about the queens in the tarot, they tend to represent the fixed signs. So this would very likely be Scorpio. But could be Pisces or Cancer as well, or anyone this week likened to these traits or attributes. Tenderhearted, empathetic, patient, and loving. Relationships develop to a new level for yourself and others. It could also very easily be air and water, water and water. This is more air and water here. Water and fire. Water is very popular. And it can be Scorpio. I mean, this is your birthday month for some of you. October, and well, actually for all of you, because we're in October, but this reading goes into November. So you're either, if you're a Scorpio, your birthday is either in October or it's in November. So it's going to be your birthday month one way or another. And maybe that's why everything's just good for you. The sun is shining on you. You are the star of the month. And it's going to be, it looks like a good time for you. It's off to a good start for you with the first week. And you got options. You got options. That's not to suggest that the rest of us don't, though. So don't like count yourselves out. Because this is also very much representative of, again, the energy of Jupiter in that trine Chiron. Because that's both fire too. And Chiron also currently retrograde in Aries. So that's more fire. But Jupiter is connected to all the fixed signs. So again, Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius. Taurus is the only one that's not, you know, here as a court card or a major arcana card. But it is ruled by Venus. So I guess this is kind of close. But let's see what else we come up with another deck. I'm going to put these over here, actually. Beginning with the Prince of Autumn. So another Knight of Earth. Trustworthy, dedicated, protective, and funny. It's important to make a detailed plan before starting any new endeavor. Once you have that plan in place, then you can take immediate action and get as much accomplished as possible. An opening to the King of Summer, warm-hearted, devoted, loving, and faithful. A trustworthy person or relationship enters your life. You may receive wise and compassionate advice from someone who speaks directly from the heart. But also the Sun. The Sun, so another Sun. Your plans will work out well, bringing you happiness, prosperity, and success. You'll garner the recognition that your accomplishments so richly deserve. And that's really what the Sun crossing the 3 of Earth means for the feminine too. And it's her dreams coming true. And guess who's helping to usher that in for you? Jupiter, right? Jupiter. Again, attached to karma. 17 equals 8. Jupiter, the planet of karma, growth and expansion. That's where you're being recognized. Your life is growing, and that's why you're being rewarded. The Sun. And Major Arcana card 7, the Chariot. You can successfully balance various or opposing energies at once through determination and focus. You've earned the rewards and recognition that you're receiving. Isn't that what I just said? Anyway, Major Arcana card 7 represents the sign of Cancer in the tarot. And it's all about getting in the driver's seat, or you being in the driver's seat of your own life, you being victorious. Also movement. Again, whether figurative or literal, movement, moving, travel. The Chariot opposite the Sun is, yes, ultimate victory and good things happening for you in your life. The Sun. And the 7 of Spring. Be assertive, believe in yourself, and don't let anyone take away your personal power. Trust that your inner guidance is true and follow it completely. I guess the Sun is the healing. Well, again, this could be representative of a hospital and maybe an ambulance. The Sun opposite a Chariot. Somebody, again, possibly rushed to a hospital this week. But I saw wellness ultimately. All right. Oops. The 9 of Summer. Now's the time when your dreams come true. Don't worry about how this will happen, because that's what the star says too. Just give gratitude to God for all that you have and all that's still yet to come. The 9 of Water opposite the Sun, again, is just good things. I'm going to go ahead and cut. It's just really wonderful energy this week. All right. Guess they wanted us to see the 8 of Autumn, but I'm not done yet. Ah, even better. The 10 of Autumn. So the 8 is like reaping what we've sown. And here must be where once we collect it, this is where we end up. Contentment comes from knowing that your finances are secure and your family's material needs are taken care of. It's important to honor traditions and to have pride in your heritage and the accomplishments of your ancestors. So ancestors, I'm thinking about the connection to the dead. Something may come up with that too. Overall energy is the Ace of Spring. A wonderful new opportunity presents itself. It may have come as a surprise, right? It may be rushed in, again, by Jupiter. Sort of like by ambulance. And, you know, that could be metaphorical too for some of us. It doesn't have to have anything to do with the hospital. It can be like the energy of Jupiter rushing in to save us, right? To present us with an opportunity. So it could have come as a surprise. But you'll either, whether it does or it doesn't, you're still going to want to leap into action and to passionately pursue every possibility. So even if you got 7 choices, like the 7 of Cups, you're going to want to check them all out. Atop the Queen of Fire is the Wheel with Major Arcana card number 10, the Wheel. Expect a sudden positive change in your life. You can move forward and make great progress. Didn't I say that the sudden change might be Jupiter? That's what the Wheel represents, Jupiter. And Sagittarius, but as well, again, as the fixed signs, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Taurus, which didn't show up, would be the fixed signs in addition to Sagittarius. But this for the masculine is Jupiter ushering in, you know, that assistance, that really positive help. So where his life needs to turn around, you know, to a more abundant perspective, it will. It will. It can be all areas too. The top justice is the Two of Summer. Somebody might be going to the justice of the peace. You're falling in love or experiencing a deepening of emotion in your current relationship. Marriages or romantic partnerships in distress can still be saved. Don't give up. That can also be the case too, right? Somebody may have had some sort of difficulty, a couple things not working out between them, but then they do each other justice, or they work things out and they heal the situation. But definitely somebody could be getting engaged or even married, because remember the Knight of Water was here. He makes the proposals, and then we have the Two of Summer sitting atop justice. Easily somebody could be getting married this weekend, and that would certainly be hitting the jackpot. Hitting the jackpot, the wheel. All positive. Atop that Knight of Water, wow. Yeah. The Two of Spring, your vision, creativity, and dedication to your cause have brought you great success. In fact, it may be in your best interest to get a partner. Here they are. To assist you in your endeavors, or to expand the number of people who are helping you. This can also be about business, right? This is the general reading. This could be business. This could be friendship. But to give you an example, again, you could be entering a business partnership, and that this could be what the legality is. Maybe we have to sign papers to go in together. We started with an idea, maybe several ideas, Seven of Cups. We had dreams, big dreams, multiple dreams. And now they're coming to fruition. That number one that preceded this two was the dream, right? And we thought it over our lives. We spoke it over our lives. We manifested it from that one. It is a two. It is beginning to take form. I want you to partner in it with me. I can't do it alone. It was our seed together. So here we go, right? And here's where that starts to grow. Crowning the feminine atop the Knight of Fire, the Tower. Major Arcana card at 16, the Tower, which for me is representative of Scorpio energy, which it would be crossing here, right, with the Queen of Water here at the center. Important changes are coming to your life that will require you to take action. Don't hesitate to move in new directions that you know are right for you. Like maybe toward love, the Queen that's in the center there. That could be the direction that you know is right for you. Toward love, toward positivity, whether it's having to do with something general, work-related, a friendship, a romantic situation, familial, right, your family, or whatever it is, moving, stepping deeper, stepping your vibration deeper into love works regardless, works in any area. Atop the Three of Earth, the Six of Spring. What did I say the Three of Earth was about? Well, it's about being rewarded, recognized. Guess what the Six of Spring is about? Yes, the same thing. You may receive a promotion. What did I say? Told you. Be chosen for a scholarship, or find that you're singled out for some sort of special recognition. Exactly. You've done an amazing job and you deserve the attention. You earned it. Told ya. And that's what the Tower is representative of here. For those whom this applies, because the Tower doesn't have to be bad. People see the Tower and they go, oh no. I see readers sometimes, this is the worst card you can get, the worst card in the Tower. That's not true. Okay, it can go either way. That's how life is, right? Some things come in suddenly and they sweep us off our feet for good reasons, and some knock us on our ass for bad, right? But ultimately, like at the end of the day, however it happens in that initial impact, it tends to be for good. Like sometimes our life gets turned upside down or knocked down to rubbish so that it can be rebuilt, right? So either way, ultimately, to me, the Tower is a good card. But certainly here, I'd say it's good. I think there's no question about it. Atop the Star, the Ten of Winter. It's the end of a career path, project, or relationship, and that brings feelings of mixed joy and sadness, relief and disappointment. Put aside your fears about these changes and trust that a higher and brighter future awaits. So, for example, you prayed for the new position or a new job. But now you got to leave your friends. That hurts a little. You got to leave the people that are at that other one. But on the bright side, I got a new job. That's what this is. Okay? Frowning atop the sun. Wow. The Prince of Summer. Romantic, flirtatious, introspective, and enchanting. So now we have two knights of water, knights of cups, crossing one another. One sitting atop justice and one sitting atop the sun. I'm sorry. One sitting underneath the two of spring and one sitting atop the sun. A deeply emotional and probably romantic experience will sweep you off your feet. Isn't that what I just said the tower does? See? Nothing to be afraid of. Things can move very quickly during such whirlwind encounters, so stay balanced and make decisions with both your heart and your intellect. But again, you're going to have the information presented for you. You're going to have the confidence of the Queen of Fire, who's right next to you, but you're atop the sun. So everything's illuminated, everything's bright. It's going to help you to see the good in people, to see the good in places, and to see your way through to, you know, your path and what it is you want, and to make that proposal of whatever it is, some sort of partnership, some sort of new job, new situation, to make your proposal, to make your acceptance. Atop the Nine of Earth, renewal, major arcana card, Judgment. So now we have Justice crossing Judgment. It's time to get clarity about your life purpose and to make changes so that you're on a path most divinely suited to you. Forgive what has been without judgment and fearlessly embrace what's to come. So, if you're going from being single to partnered, fearlessly embrace that. You're going into a new job, uncharted territory for yourself. Face that, because guess what? Judgment is very much like the Three of Earth. It is about abundance that is earned, only much stronger because it's major arcana, right? And it can have to do with some sort of partnership. Somebody could be making partner in some sort of firm, an accounting firm, a law firm, something like that. Kind of feeling some other stuff about judgment and justice. But I want to see what goes on here first. Atop the Queen of Water. Boom. Wow. The Ace of Summer. This is the beginning of a new emotional experience for you. It may be the first blush of romantic love, the rebirth of a current relationship, or the awakening of spiritual gifts and insights. So, wow. Okay. Similar to with the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Wands, the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Cups sitting here one beneath the other, could definitely be a relationship, a couple, representative of a couple. Again, with one being a little bit older than the other, perhaps, or more mature. That's a possibility. And a fresh start possibly for the two of them. Maybe a brand new relationship, people just meeting, coming together. Especially, again, represented by the Two of Cups, which sits right next to them. Now, this Two of Cups sits on top of Justice too, and crossing Judgment, which sits atop the Nine of Earth. For some people, and next to the Knight of Water, which is topped by the Two of Spring. For some people, this is, this couple is like not meant, and maybe this could be divorce or the need for one, or representative of divorce, like, you know, the fact that they're together and they need to separate. And who he really belongs with is this one. who is sitting here single underneath Judgment. That's romantic, right? Issues. There could also be some people in a karmic relationship, karmic as in destined of the universe, meant to teach us a lesson, possibly soulmate, possibly quote unquote twin flame, or whatever you want to call a divine union, not meant as a derogatory term. There could be a karmic relationship, not necessarily romantic, with Judgment and crossing Justice, with the Two of Cups sitting here atop the Justice. And again, the Two of Springs sitting here next to the Judgment. And this woman being somebody who is quite possibly an astute businesswoman, right? A business person. You need each other in order to complete your, life purpose. Now, absolutely, that could be romantic. But again, it doesn't have to be. This could be some work you're meant to do together. But again, this guy belongs with this woman, or I guess it could be a man, even if it's for the purposes of some sort of work or business. It's a life purpose thing. And like one needs the other in order to, like they can't neither can complete the task by themselves. So that's another thing. Also, with the wheel sitting here atop the Queen of Fire, who is somebody who's extremely confident in everything and passionate about what they do, and everything that they desire and that they're into. They're really, they put all their energy into and focus into those things about which they're passionate, or those people about which they're passionate. The wheel sitting here atop means like you're meant to take a chance, like like you're in Vegas or something. You're meant to take a chance and try your luck. That's the word I was trying to come up with. Try your luck. So it's like a leap of faith. And, this indicates that it's going to come out good. I was also getting something interesting in mind. It's a Malcolm X quote. Malcolm X, who was a Taurus, by the way, and I kept making note of the fact that Taurus was missing from here. So maybe that's why he's coming through. But he once said, hell is where you're dumb. I'm thinking that this is connected to the purgatory thing too, the purgatory, hell, heaven stuff. I mean, for me, I just believe that there are different planes of existence. Anybody can believe what they want, of course, no judgment from me. I just believe, yes, there are alternate planes of existence, to which souls are sent. And if we want to name them and call them different things, that's people's business too. But I guess because I read those passages and during this week, again, what falls is All Saints Day, All Souls Day, Day of the Dead. I think that's from where this is coming. He said, hell is where you're dumb, and hell is where you're a slave. So I pictured like being locked away, in trouble, and this would be hell. Again, this for some people, it's not going to be for everybody, obviously, or even a majority, but it is for someone. I got to say this. This is not a relationship meant to be. This is hell. This is hell. Hell is where you're a slave. Hell is where you're dumb. So you're like, you're not following your own passions and own heart. You're just walking around, like deaf, dumb, and blind, being led around by somebody with whom you don't belong, right? You lack the confidence to do your own thing. Hell is where you're dumb. Hell is where you're a slave. Hell is where you don't have freedom. So again, this, being connected to freedom and justice and often jail or legal situations. Hell is where you don't have freedom or justice. You don't have equality. And the devil is the one who's depriving you of this. So that would be whoever the other person represents. The devil. Maybe they're the Taurus. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't have to be specific, but for some, I mean, absolutely. If you find yourself in this situation and the other person is a Taurus, then yeah, I'm talking to you. And the Taurus is the one you got to chuck. Because I've been seeing that for probably a couple months now. I've had some stuff come up with Taurus as far as the earth sign that I said I was getting a weird feeling about, and specifically Taurus female. But Capricorn in the tarot is also representative of earth, and is the devil. Right, the devil card, major arcana card number 15 in the tarot, represents the sign of Capricorn. So I'm not sure, but I think it's the earth energy that applies here. In any case, whoever it is, God, what's the rest of the quote? The devil is the one who deprives you of the justice and the equality and your civil rights. He's the one who robs you of your right to be a human being. Like, being a human being is like, again, following your own heart, mind, soul. You know, when you don't get to do that, when somebody's stopping you from doing that, they are being a devil in your life. And then he goes on to say, like, I don't have to tell you who the devil is. You know who the devil is. And, you know, I'm paraphrasing, so don't hold me to that. But you can look up the Malcolm X quote. Because I was just moved to share that for somebody, or somebodies. So that's for y'all. And what else? Again, as it relates to business, specifically having to do with the feminine, this is an astute, you know, businesswoman. Like, whatever this business is, she's about it. And, you know, she might not have that kind of confidence in herself. She might be sort of afraid. But, you know, here is the energy of the strong. This is your dreams coming true. You know, so I talked about last week, us being afraid of getting exactly what we want sometimes. And it's that sort of thing. But you got this. You got this. You're going to be successful in whatever this is, even if it comes through quickly and unexpectedly and you're not sure, you know, how to handle it. You're overwhelmed in the moment. It's a lot to process in the moment. You know, this is a major opportunity being sent to you by the universe. Again, a wonderful new opportunity presents itself. It may come as a surprise. The tower comes in very quickly, but you'll still want to leap into action. So even if it's a surprise, even if you're overwhelmed, even if it's unexpected, still jump at your chance, you know, to make your dreams come true. This is your dream here. Passionately pursue every possibility. And when I picked this up, guess what's underneath it? I mean, this reading, it just keeps getting better and better. It's the 4 of spring. It's time to kick back, relax, and celebrate all that you have. Joy arises from success in your career, the completion of a project, a happy home life, happy relationships. You know, so this is like a week of having it all. It seems like for a bunch of us. I guess on that note, I should do the advice. I don't think there's much more to say. This could also be you winning in terms of the relationship. Maybe something you've been fighting a long time, waiting a long time for the masculine to return or look your way, period. New relationship, and this is finally you. You know, hashtag winning. I also feel something here, maybe specifically lesbian couples, where, you know, obviously one is the masculine. Again, whoever this person here is, that would represent this single one, or maybe somebody that you look up to, you know, like you're very proud of her. Like she's successful, you know, she's reaping things that that she earns, that she deserves, because she's put in the work. But she also deserves, you know, a healthy and relationship with you. And, you know, again, this other person doesn't. Or this could be representative of the two of you, again, together. Like the right thing is for you to be together. The right thing, the just thing is for you to be together. All right, lastly, I'm going to get some advice, beginning with release, which is like a death sort of card to me, especially since this being is here, like with these seagulls and there's water. So it's like very, you know, water energy, or perhaps Scorpio, specifically Scorpio. But this is the angel therapy deck. Work with Archangel Michael to let go of what no longer serves you or your purpose. Oh, goodness. So many want to be seen. All right. So first is integrity. Align your actions so that they match your values and your inner knowingness of what's right for you. But also visualize success. See yourself doing well in this situation and have faith in the positive outcome. And have you asked your angels for help with this? Your angels want to help you with this situation. However, they require your permission before they can intervene in your free will choices. So maybe it's like, that could be for this, maybe like to break away from whatever this is. You can ask for support. But right now you're making a free will choice to be with somebody that makes you feel like you're in hell. So you have to use that same free will to give the angels entree into your life. And when you, if and when you call upon them, I have to stress, you know, that we're specific about angels of light. It may be specifically, you know, you name the angel that you want to help you. I can give you some ideas, like, for example, Archangel Michael is the leader of all archangels. He certainly helps us with organization. He might be good to come in this week because he's connected to the energy of Mars and Aries and Scorpio, you know, in that the leadership role. So he may be good to call upon. Archangel Metatron is the archangel of all light workers. He may be positive for you to call upon. He knows what it is you're trying to do and work toward. And that's what he's there for, to help you with those sort of things. Archangel Jeremiel, the archangel of past lives. Archangel Chamuel, archangel of unconditional love. Archangel Daniel, the archangel of love in general, and also marriage. You know, so it depends. Archangel Raphael, he can help you with healing in any area of your life, finances, love, physical, right, ailments and stuff. So call upon those. But, you know, remember that angels come in dark too, fallen. Not nice, not good. So you don't want to just call on any old angels and give all of them permission. You want to be specific, or at least I do, and I suggest you do. Be specific in that you're calling upon angels of the light. And same thing goes for your ancestors. So especially with this being, for example, a week where the veil is very thin between the realms, you know, of the spiritual world and, human life. And even when we're calling upon our ancestors, not all of them were good. Not all of them, love us and want to see us do well. So we would call upon those that do only and not the others. Some, very possibly were not nice people. That's just the way it is. Life is. Okay. I think you guys get the idea. Aw, twin flame. The answer to your question involves a spiritually based romantic relationship. Twin flame and ear chakra. Notice messages that appear as sounds, music, and words from both external sources and within your mind. These messages are real answers to your prayers. Twin flame. And God box. Write any worries, concerns, or desires on a piece of paper that you put into a special container called a God box as a way of letting go and allowing the divine to help you. The overall energy is throat chakra. The angels are helping you to lovingly speak your truth. I was feeling that with the lesbian couples that I was feeling here, that coming out of the closet may be involved. But then I was like, well, the Ace of Swords is in here. We did see the sun twice. We got the sun crowning though. So again, that could be illuminated, that you could be illuminating yourself, shining that light on yourself. It's, you know, stepping into that truth and integrity and sharing with others, illuminating them, enlightening them to the fact that you are in fact gay and in love with somebody. That could happen this week. Yeah, but do pay attention to messages that you receive, music, sounds, dreams, definitely dreams, especially with our overall energy. The original one, again, having been the Seven of Cups, that can be dreams. Okay, the masculine's advice from the Angel Therapy deck. Emotional sensitivity. Honor and respect your deep sensitivity. That sounds very watery, very Scorpio. Maybe even furthermore, Venus in Scorpio. Honor and respect your deep sensitivity as it is a gift to us all. Sacral chakra. You are highly sensitive to chemicals, additives, processed foods, and energies right now. This is what I wanted to work on getting rid of for the feminine. What I mentioned at the beginning of the reading, which I never do. Those of you who watch me regularly know I never make any kind of announcements at the beginning of the reading. I don't know. I was guided to do that today, though. And this is what I was talking about. Stepping down toward better food without, you know, like abruptly changing. But some of us are able to cut stuff off cold turkey, you know, and bravo. I've done myself. I've cut stuff off cold turkey. But sometimes we need to step down. We need to gradually, you know, in order to be able to healthily maintain these things later, as opposed to having them be like crash diets or fads. I'm talking about changing the way that you eat, you know, overall, even if you are already, you know, healthy. That if we can eat better. I'm not telling you what food to eat. You eat your same food, for the most part, at least. I'd like to see a bit more. I'm telling you to move toward whole, wherever you can, wherever you're able, and away from process and fast and stuff like that. And again, I'll go over what it is. But how funny is that this would be the feminine's advice? You are highly sensitive to chemicals, additives, processed foods, and energies right now. Respect your sensitivities by avoiding these harsh items, situations, and relationships. Masculine from the Angel Tarot. The Hermit. Speaking of enlightenment, the need to come into it or shed some on somebody else. That's why you need to go within. So it's like you have your own Nine of Pentacles. We all have one here. This Nine of Earth that we're sort of sharing at the root, but you've got your own, and it's a little bit stronger. It's Major Arcana. The Hermit. Spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, self-discovery. This could be you being both the teacher and the student, or you learning more about you, right? Or coming into some sort of spiritual enlightenment, maybe because of the Ace and Queen of Cups that sit here at the center, which could be increasing our psychic awareness and intuition greatly. Again, that veil between the spiritual realms and ours, very, very thin this week, going into, well, this month, really. And I felt mostly last week, this week, and next week. And I still feel that way. That's why I've been saying like that. I think that's when people should get the services that they're interested in getting, if they're able. Not specifically from me, in general. Anyway, the Hermit represents the sign of Virgo. So could potentially have something to do with specifically Virgo or Earth energy, and this enlightenment into which some of us need to come. For the feminine, from the Angel Tarot, the Queen of Air. Very appropriate. Here goes Venus. Independent, experienced, realistic and witty, objective decision making, clearing away all that no longer serves you, and seeing the humor in a situation. The Queen of Air is a Libra, Gemini, both of which are ruled by Venus, or an Aquarius, ruled by Uranus, which is currently located in Taurus. Or it could be Venus herself, or Mercury himself. And is about making adjustments to our surroundings, the people, places, and things with which we surround ourselves. Taking some away, maybe adding some, until it's just right. Only bringing, forward with us into the next phase, the next chapter, what serves us, and leaving behind what doesn't. And lastly, from the Animal Tarot to the masculine, the High Priestess. This is the time to pause and reflect. Not necessarily to take action. Trust your spiritual gifts, as nothing is hidden from your divine intuition. The High Priestess is a Gemini, or perhaps a water sign. In either case, she is someone who is super observant, intuitive, wise, uses like all her faculties, all the information available to her, her intellect, her wisdom, her intuition, her gut feel, butterflies in her stomach, and, things that she sees, visions, dreams, conversations. She remembers every detail. You don't think she noticed, she did. She's saving it, and she won't bring it up again, or ever employ that information unless she has to. So that's why she's very quiet, and she doesn't necessarily take action, because perhaps she won't take action at all. She only will if she feels she needs to, and at that time again she'll use those all that information to her advantage. And lastly, for the feminine from the Animal Tarot, this is appropriate too. Your responsibilities, like all this work and stuff, may distract you from all the gifts that God is presenting you. Yeah, like the 2 aces and the 2 twos and the 2 knights of cups and the 2 suns and the wheel of fortune and judgment and justice. It could be, blinding you to all that stuff. The 6 of spring, right? Victory. But the universe suggests that you be open to investigating all the opportunities that come your way, which is the same exact message we got from the Ace of Wands, our overall energy in the Animal Tarot deck, which again sat atop the 4 of Wands. So I think you're going to want to follow that advice. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the reading. If you did like the reading, please actually like the reading on YouTube. Click the little box, and if you are not yet a subscriber and you would like to be, please do hit the subscribe button, and then also hit the bell button so that you're notified that I have uploaded a video. Thanks to you guys for watching. Special thanks to you, my subscribers, both on YouTube and especially on, or additionally, especially on Patreon. I'll be back with love. Namaste, angels.
It's so